growing up in Florida, wrestling was like, it was almost like something you didn't realize you were being ingrained in. It almost was like fishing or like baseball. Like in Florida, that was wrestling, because in Tampa, we had just a thick upbringing of it.
Yeah,
and
that's where a lot of people live too.
I mean, to see, Paul Orndorff wasn't like crazy. It was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
look who's there. I'm good friends with Cody, and when I met Cody for the first time, we were drinking a glass of whiskey, and we were living together in a hotel in quarantine for a TV show. And I said to him, he said, "Do you follow wrestling?" I said, "No, I'm not a wrestling fan." I said, "I got to say that because I don't want to like disrespect you and tell you I am when I'm not." And then he was like, "Okay, that's cool." And I said, "I just want to be upfront."
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then we started talking wrestling.
Right,
And then
as wrestling fans do.
And then all of a sudden he's like,
You are actually
he's
a
like,
wrestling
"Hold on,
fan.
you just recounted the Ric Flair, Kerry Von Erich match in
great detail.
In great detail. You remember that?" And I was, "Oh, are you fucking kidding? Who doesn't remember that?" And then I started quoting some of his dad's promos to him. And he was like, did you ever see my dad wrestle? I said, "Yeah, 100%. We used to go to the Tampa Armory and watch matches every Saturday night."
So
And he was like, "Wait, hold on." I said, "Dude, one of my favorite moments was with Yahoo McDaniels." And he's like, "Hold on, wait." He's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, Bert. I don't want to freak you out, but you're a wrestling fan."
I hate to break it to
And
you.
then I was like, "Well, I know, but I don't like." And then I was just trying to defend it because I understand how deep a fan really is. It's like, but wrestling is as important to me as football is. And I couldn't tell you the name of Sam Donald is the quarterback playing.
Yeah.
Darnold, whatever. But I know, but I love football.
Right.
I'm never gonna be
The one who has the encyclopedia of knowledge.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. When Paul Heyman came over and shook my hand over there in the commissary, I was like, and I was like, "I didn't want to bother you. I can't believe you know who I am. Are you freaking kidding me?" And I love. I mean, I've always said this, but Tom was not a wrestling fan. He made fun of it, and noticeably. And I told him, I said, you got to go to an event, because
That's the only way.
I said, at its best, it's as good as any 2 minutes left in any game.
Oh, yeah.
It is just magical. It is, you disappear, you get involved, and I was like, it's the greatest. It's my favorite thing, and I'm so happy that you guys are working with Netflix, because it's in my gym. All I watch is Netflix. That's all I really. That's the only thing I know a password to. And
don't even need it
the Unreal
anymore.
series is phenomenal. The series on Vince was fucking incredible. Like, I mean, that was like, oh, everything's fucking incredible. And it's like, and then to get to, I mean, like, CM Punk gave me a hug and he's like, "I'm sorry to hear about your dog," and I was like,
Well, he just lost his dog.
oh, God damn it, I should have known that.
Yeah, Larry.
I was like, "Thanks, man."
Yeah,
And then he
yeah.
was like, "What about my dog?" No.
no, I'm
But
sure
it's
he
but no,
wasn't
but
saying
like
it that
but
way,
like it's
but
been,
he knows what it feels like. But WWE wrestling, it is storytelling. It is exactly what you do on stage or in your
so
shows.
many correlations to stand-up comedy and wrestling, especially right now. There's so many. I remember Cody said to me, he goes, "You're the most professional wrestler I've ever met that doesn't wrestle." And I said, "Really?" He said, "You remind me of everyone I grew up with, because you sell yourself, you pitch yourself." He goes, "I knew who you were within 2 minutes of meeting you. I knew everything about you." He goes, "That's wrestling." And I was like, "Really?" And then I look at my promos, and my best promos are just great wrestling promos. And I think in wrestling promo terms. Like,
Yeah.
I think like my one of my most famous speeches is, "I'll never quit drinking." That's wrestling promo.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I love
so
that
good.
one.
Yeah, Tom, okay, best moment of my life, right? So, best moment of my life, Florida State reaches out and says, "Can you do the pregame speech to the stadium before the Alabama game? 90,000 people." And I said, "I'd love to." And they go, "What? All you really need to do, technically, say God bless the troops, God bless America, and a version of Ladies and Gentlemen, Start Your Engines." And I was like, "Okay." I go, "Didn't Kevin James do that?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what we want."
That's what we do.
Yeah, and I
That's
was
what we
like-
do here.
And I was like, "Okay." So I go to Tallahassee. Me and Tom, we bring Porosos. We do that's our vodka. We do a big bottle signing and a big event, and we're drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning, Saturday game day. The game is at 1:30.
Oh, we got some time.
And I'm like, and Tom goes, "What are you going to say today?" And I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "Can I just give you some advice?" I said, "What?" And he goes, "Your promos are incredible." He goes, "Just cut a promo." He goes, every time you get fired up about something, it rolls off your tongue and it sounds perfect. So just think about Florida State, what it means to you, and then talk to the people, not at them, talk to them in the arena, in the stadium." The athletic director, everyone was sitting 10 feet from me. The marching band's behind me. I have 90,000 people I'm looking at. The camera's on me. The words they want to hear is, "God bless the troops." And I start with, "My name is Bert Kreischer." I watched everyone. I was lucky enough to spend 6.5 years at this beautiful institution. I was baptized in that end zone in 1991 when there were wooden bleachers, when I saw that burning spear go into that Seminole head. Tears streamed down my cheeks. Those tears were garnet and gold. 90,000 people. Alabama thinks they're going to come into our house and walk all over us. Bobby Bowden built this house. This is the house that Coach Norvell. I mean, it was the greatest moment of my life. Tom Segura, who's dead inside, is crying next to me. The athletic director, who is about to lose his mind, shout out to Mike Alfred's like, "Ah!" My shirt's off. I'm whipping it around my head. Go Noles! And they're like, "Do you want to watch the spear go in?" I go, "Yeah." We walk out shirtless to the Seminole head. Spear goes in. Everyone's crying. This is the greatest day of my life.
And for some reason, Tom had the Lone Ranger mask shaved on his chest.
He took his shirt up, and his tits were on vacation.
His tits were on vacation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I wish we weren't getting rushed, but
No,
apparently
this is-
you are in hot demand.
No,
And I had some stuff for you too, man.
Wow.
It's like, it's
Well,
unfortunate.
why don't you
This
go,
is the only problem with
when can I
TVs.
get you guys on my cooking show?
Anytime.
Okay, I've had it. We've had a bunch of. We had Seth Rollins and
Yeah, and you had Becky
yeah.
and Seth.
Yep.
yeah.
Rhonda.
Oh yeah. You guys. This community gets views.
Yeah.
Becky went on and like it's every DM I got. She was like, "There's one guy you don't want to
She's
cross."
like, who are you talking about?
Yeah, everyone was like, "Who are you
Yeah.
talking about?" And then Rhonda was like, just trashed Rogan, and I was like,
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
"Yeah."
Oh.
I said, "So, what do you think of Rogan?" And she goes, "I mean, he's a fan. He's never done the sport, never played it. Like, so as a fan, his opinion means nothing to me." And I was like, when I was in my head, I was like, he calls me once a day. Like, I'm going to talk to him. Like, this isn't going away. But no, and then we had Cody on. I've had Cody on a bunch. It's funny. I feel like I didn't know him. I feel like I got to know him before he was who he is today.
Right.
So I really know him. And we lived in a hotel for and it's so funny. I've always mispronounced the word nightmare. And he always thought I was fucking with him. And I've just mispronounced it my whole life. But yeah, so
I wonder why.
And then I think
There has to be a story.
No, I mispronounced some words. Like it's
He
like,
walked before.
what?
Oh, that's
Because
right.
you walked first before
You
you
didn't
talked.
crawl.
Yeah, it's because I always thought it was nightmare, but it's nightmare.
It is nightmare.
There.
It's nightmare. I
Nightmare.
thought it was nightmare.
MARE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick the
Massage.
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 Massage. Yeah.
I kind of like
And then
massage.
some
I do too.
I mispronounce on purpose because the internet gets bothered by it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. And then if you pronounce his brother Casey Affleck right, people lose their mind. They're like, why would you do that? Tattoo? I've been doing tattoo for a long time. Tattoo?
Tattoo?
Yeah.
That's
And then I do it in my act, and then I go, he had all the tattoos, and then everyone you hear everyone go,
I thought you
I
meant
Tattoo?
tutu.
no,
I was,
no, like a tattoo, like a tattoo, a tattoo, a tattoo.
I was with you on tutu. Damn, that was a hard one.
Yeah, we's got girls.
Yeah,
We went there.
Oh yeah, a tutu.
Yeah.
Oh no, a tutu.
Yeah.
A tattoo.
A tutu.
Okay.
A tutu.
It's fun to mispronounce words and then watch people go, I'm so sorry, what did you say? And they go,
Or
"Oh, sorry."
not. And
Yeah.
then they're slightly confused.
It started with nightmare because Tom called me on it and he goes, it's nightmare. And I went, no, it's nightmare. And I thought it was spelled
For sure.
M-E-R-E.
yeah.
Oh.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right. That's,
it's not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's not.
There.